Ladies and gentlemen, it is already week 4 of the college football season. We are back here from the Diamond Vogel Studios in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. It's the Preacher, it's the Prodigy, and we are back taking a look a little bit in arrears at a wonderful week 3 of college football.
For the most
Great
part.
viewing.
Yes.
Terrible picking for you, but great entertainment
Yes.
as we watched some games that really went down into the last minute or so or overtime. Some high drama happening, especially involving SEC teams. And the Cinderella slipper has come off the foot of the South Florida Bulls.
And once again fit onto the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So
Yeah. I mean, probably the most famous Cinderella in college football is usually thought of as being Purdue, like the spoiler makers.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But Georgia Tech has a little bit of a history of messing around with people's aspirations. Remember when they went to 44 overtimes with Georgia? Was that 2 years ago?
Fun. I think it might have been last year in the Friday night, Black Friday game.
Yeah, it was incredible entertainment, and Georgia ended up prevailing. But they just matched each other 2-pointer for 2-pointer for 6 hours or something.
If you're looking for a football team to cheer for, Georgia Tech is got to be at the top of the list.
The Ramblin' Wreck.
Yeah.
Haynes your way. Offense.
It was definitely very exciting. Week 3, Georgia Tech obviously upsetting Clemson. Georgia going into Neyland Stadium in a very, very well-played game. Georgia making the adjustments needed after Tennessee marched down the field over and over again in the first quarter, and Georgia prevailed, as they do, coming from behind against Tennessee.
Still, Tennessee with a kick to win.
Yeah, and pushed it. So it
Some
was...
stuff in special teams proved hugely consequential. Tennessee makes that kick, they win.
If Georgia Tech misses the kick.
And if Notre Dame's backup, former starting quarterback Tyler Buckner handles the snap, who knows how things go. A&M might have gone for 2, we're not sure, but what an incredible game that was to finish today, Texas A&M. As predicted by one of the two of us, wins.
I had A&M covering. I just didn't think they would win, and they were able to pull it through.
Yeah, and then Michigan Wolverines really do almost everything right. They probably could have scored 77 or 80. I mean, they just were facing no resistance from Central Michigan. It seemed like Central Michigan just didn't really want to be there at all, which is surprising. It's an in-state game. They just didn't have much heart in the way that, for instance, New Mexico did in week 1. But looking back, maybe New Mexico is pretty good. They just put an end to the Deshaun Foster era.
Mm-hmm.
And
as we were talking about yesterday, we were like, it wouldn't be so surprising if in a few weeks Deshaun Foster would be fired. And we're recording this on a Sunday, so we were talking about this yesterday, reviewing the New Mexico game, and we were going through coaches in our mind, and lo and behold, he was fired the day after we talked about it. So
yep. And there are rumors already that Luke Fickell, if he doesn't beat Maryland, will be terminated. Obviously, Billy Napier's on life support as well.
Brent Pry has talked that he's going to be out.
He is out officially.
Yes.
But the number one name on the UCLA hot board, Uncle Nate and Jacob are not going to like this. Jonathan Smith from Michigan State. Sounds like there's a pre-existing relationship there. But overall, I had a good week. I'm 5-1 with my picks.
And I went 4-2, so I did fairly well.
How did that happen? Because we disagreed on Central Michigan, and we disagreed on the Florida or on the Tennessee.
Excuse
Georgia
me. Yeah,
game.
you're right. I did go 3-3. I was thinking that I picked Michigan, but I picked Central Michigan for sure, and that wasn't even close because Central just got physically advanced. So I went 3-3. So our records throughout the year: he is 10-7-1. And I'm 6-11-1. So we're making our ways back to.
We're never gonna forget JMU.
Oh man, it's that one in the push column. It could get to 2. You never know. We'll see what happens this week. We have a pretty good slate of games this week. We're gonna pick 5 games, including the Michigan game.
Pretty good slate. Yeah.
We'll start with Fox Big Noon heading out to Rice-Eccles Stadium in Utah, where the Utes will be hosting your playoff-bound Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Utah Utes are favored by 3.5. Who do you like in this one? I think I know what way you're going to go, but you maybe could slip in there a Texas Tech 1-point win.
Yeah. The line is what? Say that again.
Utah.
By the way,
minus-
we're just saying we are recording earlier in the week. There could be significant movement
yes.
in these lines by kickoff. We're recording on Sunday night because of scheduling issues. It is Utah
minus 3.5.
Yeah. I'm going to take... Boy, I'm going to ride or die.
Okay.
Guns up. I'm going to go with Texas Tech.
Doesn't like the pick, but can't go back now.
Yeah, I don't... I've just been on Texas Tech. I like what they're doing. I like their new coach. And they've scored 45 points in each of the first 3 games. First time that they've done that in, a long time, if ever. So I'm just gonna take Texas Tech to keep chugging along. They're my pick for the Big 12. And so I know Utah looked strong. They beat up our Wyoming Cowboys in the end. But it wasn't, early on, it wasn't a blowout.
No.
So... Cowboys hung in there, but anyway, I'm going to go with Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I'm going to take Utah on this one. I think that Utah matches it very well with what Texas Tech wants to do, and I think the difference in the game is going to be both that it's Rice Eccles, which is very hard to win at.
At altitude!
And I also like the playmaking ability of the quarterbacks. I heavily favor Devin Dampier over Baron Morton. And I think in a game where it could be a lower scoring game and you need to get points in the red zone, I think that would be key for Utah securing the win is Dampier's legs.
Do you think that Utah can keep pace with the Texas Tech offense?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you think that Utah will slow down the Texas offense?
Yeah, I think that Utah will slow down the Texas offense and, in turn, make it easier on the Utah offense. But I think the Utah offense will have a good time scoring the football today.
We fail to agree.
Let's keep it with a running quarterback kind of mindset.
The motif of the dual threat quarterback.
2 dual threat quarterbacks. One Michigan faced earlier this year, John Mateer and Jackson Arnold. Both of these guys played
Former Oklahoma
both Oklahoma quarterbacks at once in their life. Auburn is heading to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma's favored by 6.5. This is a 2:30 game.
You gotta go first on this. What do we know? Before you pick, what do we know about Auburn?
They're a mirror image of Oklahoma almost. They have really good wide receiver core.
Nice win against Baylor. Has Baylor been anything since
They beat SMU in a crazy game, so it's kind of transitive property there. But I think Auburn's fine. I think it will be a lot of running quarterbacks, and when it comes down to that, I think Oklahoma can do it better. So I like the Sooners in a home game to cover 6.5, maybe a 10-point win, 27-17 or something like that.
Agree. I think Oklahoma is legit. I think that they have playmakers on offense. The funny thing is, I would have guessed that Oklahoma was going to be a heavy running, especially running back centric offense, but it just seems like they'd rather have Mateer carry the ball than hand off to their 5 former 4 and 5 star running backs for whatever reason. Injuries have factored in, of course, but I'm going to Oklahoma at home as well.
All right, we agree. We can maybe keep this next game a little bit shorter because we've talked about these teams a lot this season. Florida plays at Miami. This game early on, Miami is only favored by 3. That line has ballooned today to 7.5 in favor of the Hurricanes. This is a night game at Hard Rock. Last time that Miami hosted at Hard Rock, they pounded USF, and USF beat Florida. So I don't think that's going to happen again. I think it'll be closer than a 49-12 game. But I still like Miami to cover this one. They just looked physically imposing in a way that Florida did not in their previous games. And, yeah, give me the Canes.
I mean, Miami seems obvious, but as we talked earlier today offline, Vegas seems to like what's beneath the hood in the Florida Gators. They seem to like something mechanically about Florida that we have not seen. Mm-hmm. Now, let's just play devil's advocate here. What if DJ Lagway doesn't throw 5 interceptions against LSU? What if he throws 2 interceptions?
Right.
Do they cover the spread, which kind of closed at 7? Probably. Yeah. So, is Miami better than LSU? I think so.
Yeah.
Is Florida better than Florida looked in Baton Rouge? I think so. I'm going to go Gators.
All right.
I'm going to go Gators back against the wall. And I think Miami wins by a field goal. just for fun, let's go Gators.
All right.
I'm gonna give you a chance to get back.
Listen to your friends in the desert.
A chance for you to get back into this thing. Let's go Gators.
All right. Big Ten's game of the weekend. Number 9 Illinois heads to 19 Indiana. This is a game, underrated game on a lot of people's watch list. If you know college football, this game is
not in people in Champaign, Illinois. They've red lettered this thing, baby.
Game that a lot of people focus their attention on if you really are watching college football, because this game is, we've seen both of these teams play opponents like 2 tiers ahead of them and get crushed, and also play teams 3 tiers below them and dominate. We haven't really seen these teams play teams of equal status of each other.
To the Sycamores, but continue.
Haven't seen these teams play teams of equal status of each other, and so it'll be really interesting to see kind of a chess match here where both teams are equally matched, which one comes out on top, where it's going to be a really fun environment down in Indiana. I like Indiana.
This game's in Bloomington.
This game is in Bloomington. Yeah. Indiana's favored by 4.5. I like Indiana. I think this is a get-right game for them. I think Cignetti.
Get-right game? Sorry, they just put up 73.
My bad. I like Indiana to cover this game. Yeah. 4.5.
I do too.
I think a big win for Kurt Cignetti to propel them into the college football playoff conversation. Not a get-right.
If 73 is a get-right game, I want to be wrong if that's a get-right game.
I apologize, but I do like Indiana to cover 4.5 at home at night against Illinois. Although Illinois has looked solid. The win against Duke, when they won by 26 points, is probably a little closer than the score indicated. Even still, I like Indiana.
I like Indiana fairly comfortably. I agree with you in this. I think that Indiana just knows how to move the ball, and I think that really the secondary of Indiana is good. I have yet to see something in Illinois that convinces me they're a whole lot better than they were last year. I'm going to take the Hoosiers at home. I think that they win this game by double figures.
I think this could be a lower scoring game too. Brett Bielema's going to try and impose his will and play old school Big Ten football, but I think Kurt Cignetti can play that game better than Brett can at this current moment.
But if this game ends up 28-17, would you be shocked?
No,
I don't either.
No, but I'm just saying it could be a 21-10 game.
Really?
Yeah. And the last game of the weekend, we'll pick the Michigan game. Michigan heads to the road in Nebraska. This is
the 10-foot pole game for me.
Sharon Moore's second game in his self-imposed suspension.
Yeah, self-imposed. But you have
trying
to
do
appeal
to the authorities. Michigan, this line has bounced around.
Probably will again.
6 points. It's currently at Michigan -1.5. Wherever this line goes, it's hard to see this game be anywhere far from a pick'em game. So, I
gotta go first on this.
Who do you like?
Yeah, I thought I saw that Nebraska was favored by 1.5. We had heard Michigan 3 to 3.5 early, and last week, of course, things move again after that. You get a whole lot of information when Nebraska beats Houston Christian.
Our boy Jalen Gramstad got in with 3 for 3. So
wouldn't it be sweet if Jalen Gramstad was in this game? Hopefully because Michigan is so far ahead, not because Nebraska.
Kind of like the Central Michigan Flores role where they put him in to run in. Yeah.
So I think a number like this tells you that a lot of people who put money on the game think Michigan's a little bit better than Nebraska. 3 points for home field being factored in. They would say if this game was being played, at Lucas Oil Stadium or whatever, it would be Michigan by 4 or 5. I don't love this pick. This is a 10-foot pole game for me. I would not touch this with real money, but I'm going to go with Michigan. I think Michigan stops Nebraska on a potential game-winning drive. Michigan does it with defense. Michigan wins 25-20.
All right. I'm going to go with Nebraska. I thought Nebraska would win this game at the beginning of the year, and my prediction...
Who did you have Michigan losing to this year?
I had Michigan losing to Oklahoma, Nebraska.
That's it?
That's it, 10-2.
Oh, my. That's right. You're a big rule of 3 thing.
Rule of 3. I think it's going to come through here. We haven't really seen Nebraska against difficult.
So that happened in the Atlantic 10 conference?
It happened in the Big 12.
And it happened in the Big 12.
Oklahoma and Texas.
But when he got to the NFC South, did not happen.
You're going to use the transitive property on Urban Meyer Yeah, you can't just do that. It's a completely different game.
I do agree, and I think the Big Ten is a completely different game from the Atlantic 10. That's what I'm saying.
I think the
agree
Jacksonville
with you.
Jaguars is completely different from the Big.
I
But
think Urban Meyer's that the issues with him there were far beyond what we have time on this podcast to talk about. But I'm not convinced by Nebraska the way that you are. I just am not, and I think we've heard the story of the resurrection of Nebraska so many times, and year after year there are 7, 5, 6, and 6 teams.
that's what people are saying about Texas. Every single year is we're back, and they were never back until a new guy came to town and turned it around. I think that can be that guy.
But Texas, it's a little bit different because Nebraska just doesn't have the ability to procure talent the way
True.
Texas did. And now they did get like Key out of Kentucky as a wide receiver to help Raylo. I think Raylo in the passing game is good, but I don't think that this season they have encountered anything like Jay-Sean Barham in the Michigan defense. I don't think Michigan's going to blow them out, but I think Michigan's going to control Nebraska, and I think Michigan will use I think they're going to revert to a far more conservative game plan. That's obvious, but I don't think they're going to go back to the Oklahoma game plan. I think that if they have good atmospherics, by that I mean weather, wind, I think they're going to let Bryce Underwood just cook. And so I'm going to take Michigan to win.
I would love for that to be the case, but far too often we've seen Michigan coaching staff just not wanting to, go all
But this
in.
is only game 2 of the Poggi era.
Poggi really was like, okay, we're gonna let Bryce loose. The stat sheet showed that Bryce had like 120 rushing yards. Watched the game today. A lot of it was just scrambling when Central Michigan defensive line lost contained, but there were a few design run plays, including a 20-yard touchdown. Either way, I just like Nebraska. Tries to play conservative, and it bites them in the butt too often. So give me Huskers 24-20.
24-20 Nebraska. All right, and I have 25-20 Michigan.
Yeah.
We're both at the Vegas line, which is 44.5. In fact, if you average out our two scores, we're right there. So we will see. It's going to be a fun week. Is there anything interesting happening on Thursday night, or is there a Friday night?
Iowa heads to Rutgers Friday night,
Okay.
I think, and then I think Oklahoma State hosts a Group of 5 school Friday night as well.
The O State schools, Oklahoma State and Oregon State, have been absolutely terrible.
When it comes to orange and black O State schools, and even just any O State school containing black in their color scheme, it just nothing seems to go.
Hey, let's just wrap up. Let me ask you, who are the 3 best teams in the country as of 3 weeks at the 1 quarter of the season mark? Who are your 3 best teams?
It's hard to narrow it 3. I can narrow it to 5, and I could delete some teams currently in the top 5 and put
I'm
them
going to
back in.
force you to pick your top 3.
I'm going to go. Oh man. I think Ohio State's up there just because of the defensive performance, even though their win against Texas is starting to look a little less impressive. I don't see any reason why Penn State wouldn't be up there, even though they haven't proven it against anybody good, but they've done what they needed to do. And I think the other team up there would be Miami. Although I really want to slide Oregon in there.
Yeah.
And just Oregon also, I see Penn State as half tier above Oregon, and there isn't any shuffling currently right now, but I could definitely see, they play not this coming weekend, but next weekend.
Penn State is idle this week, and then
they host Oregon, I'm pretty sure. So that'll be a fun game to watch. But those would be my 3 teams: Ohio State, Penn State, Miami, and then
That's
Oregon.
almost certainly going to be a top 5 matchup, maybe potentially top 4 matchup.
Yeah.
Between Penn State and Oregon. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not convinced that Ohio State is the best team in the country. I don't think Texas is as good as people thought. Texas against UTEP was kind of a clunker, and we'll see. There's a lot of season to go right now. I think I would have Oregon, and I know I just picked Florida. I think Miami has like one of the best resumes.
Yeah.
So Oregon, Miami, Penn State.
And LSU has looked unimpressive as well because they're winning against Clemson. Now Clemson out of the top 25, and they just...
That was at Clemson. There's still something to be said for that, but...
True. Only beating Louisiana Tech by 16 at home. Just unimpressive, but...
Well, they have a chance.
They're
They have
3-0.
they have a chance to really prove it and show everyone what they're really like because they play Southeast Louisiana this weekend. So
Test their mettle.
It's a prove it game. It's a chance for them to brush away all the naysayers and unbelievers with a win over. I don't even know what the Southeast Louisiana is. Probably like the Purple Dragons or something. I don't know what they are. Until next time, I'm the Preacher.
And the Prodigy.
Peace out.
Deuces.